Long as fucking time ago, there was a company named Double Fine, and games so pristine they refused to fall in line. But may there be a black sheep that ruined their reputation. A game so infused with heavy metal to the brine. Vision Tim didn't see would come crashing at the time, but he made a tasty game and all the planets did align. Oh, Jack Black gets murdered and he gets put into mental hell, and he slices amongst the BDSM demons as well. Was I that fucked with RTS and open world designs? And if you try to fuck with me, then I shall fuck you too. Gonna get it on in the gamer zone. Not gonna shoot a skull in this gamer zone. Not gonna get rimmed by some corporate clone. Might suck a chode for some calzone, though. You've disobeyed my orders, Tim. Why were you even signed on? Your brother's 10 times better than you. The mass loves him more. The games that you make for us don't do us financially well. Originality is the devil's work. We want you to sell out. You become a mindless puppet. EA will pull the strings. Your indie company will make a shovelware and money it'll bring. You better shut your mouth if you want a goddamn dime. And the sequel for you will pull the plug. Don't let me hear you cry, don't let me hear you moan. You gotta make money when you're in this tome. Timmy, can you hear me? I am lost and so alone. I'm asking for a good game, not the one that you crowdfunded, the other good one you made. I need a tight compadre that'll teach me how to rock. My friends all think you're evil because you wanted to make a buck. I know that it wasn't your fault that you crowdfunded Broken Age, but no one will know the truth unless you come out of your cave. I hear you, brand young Coleo, gay, cool, just call. You are hungry for the cock. Whoa, Hazy, that's But to see this passion project, there are flaws you must unlock to escape EA's clutches in this oppressive neighborhood. On a journey you must go to find a game named Brutal Legend. From a company that's taken properties and broken them to sand. You will need heart and ambition, and at some point wanted to be in a band. To find your game and fortune through darkness you must walk. You will face your inner demons. Now go, my son, and run. Brutal Legend is something I've had in the back of my head since one of the first times I've bought it. I've bought this game multiple times throughout my life. Luckily, thanks to the powers of Steam and nostalgia, I can never buy it again for whatever non-backwards compatible console out there. Developed by Double Fine, famous for making such classics as Psychonauts, Grim Fandango, Costume Quests, Gang Beasts, Ooblets, Day of the Tentacles, some of my all-time favorites. The company that would get a lot of backlash from money-hungry Jew Schaefer flopping immensely. To elaborate on what you may think is anti-Semitism, Tim Schafer, Jewish name by the way, made a Kickstarter Indiegogo for a bunch of games, more notably Broken Age. Tim was reminiscent of an earlier time in games where point-and-click adventures were all the rage and thought it needed a comeback. Games that required heavy skill writing, clever wordplay, and puzzles that never made any sense. But no one told him that those games had morphed into something truly disgusting. And people liked those, and they had a couple of good ones thrown in the mix, I guess, but no one really liked Broken Age all that much. Possibly because it raised $4 million and it's something that a team of college grads would have done for absolutely free. It was a very lackluster game, but it wasn't poor Timmy's fault that they became such hungry e-beggars. Double Fine were in fact very invested into a sequel to Brutal Legend when EA pulled the plug on them mid pre-production. That's what we keyboard warriors like to call EA being EA. So they had to resort to making shovelware for kids, notably Sesame Street, Once Upon a Monster. In Espanol, Erase una vez un monstruo, Plaza Sésamo, okay? So we're all hoping that Microsoft's grasp onto the Double Fine company can give Psychonauts 2 some sort of limelight on their whole team as a whole. There's more history about Double Fine and Tim Schafer specifically, but I'm focusing on Brutal Legend, so if you want to watch that, go find another video to rant about John Tron Schafer for 4 hours for. Brutal Legend, a game that came out on the PS3 and Xbox 360 in good old 2009, back when I was in the middle of my awkward phase.
I pooed my pants and it smelled funny.
Then re-releasing on Steam a few years later. It's an entire game based around heavy metal. The world is metal, the creatures are metal, the songs are metal, the metal is metal. And nothing is more metal than not giving a fuck about copyright laws to blast the soundtrack. And just as the poser as I like to pretend to be, I was heavily indulged with this game upon release. And the list of cameos in this bitch are so amazing, but I'll swallow those when I get to them. Except Jack Black. This is essentially Jack Black the video game.
Gaming, all the day I'm gaming.
It's like if Jack Black from the Tenacious D movie got sucked into the hell with Satan at the end of the movie. It even begins where it looks like the store where the Ben Stiller is here in the beginning here too.
Okay.
So Jack gives us an intro here to a game we've all played, which is the Goosebumps game intro.
There you are. I'm so glad I found you.
Where we visit a cool, slick little opening menu and theming to a vinyl cover. Click the start button and away we go! Meet Eddie, with his weirdly kind of looking like Jack Black, but also very not at the same time person, with his weird penis fingers. A very overly cool, weirdly proportioned, run-of-the-mill metal enthusiast elitist that hates anything different, and also is a very cool roadie. Little did we know, 3 years after this came out, Jack would make a song about a roadie, so we know what that job actually entails. Jack dies trying to save Invader Zimmer, and he awakens in a funky tomb where a bunch of monks here are singing prayers over an axe or something. Axe go choppy choppy, we pick up a guitar and it goes zappy zappy, melee and ranged-ish weapons. Neato! The combat in this feels so fucking nice and meaty and delicious and punchy. The ever-growing list of combos they give you feel really accidental when you find out you can do a parasite or some shit. Stroll down the giant hill of skulls from the SpongeBob movie.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
We meet the whoremonger here that will give incels on Twitter a hate bonus so they get so sexually frustrated to throw their anger at. Ophelia, the toned-down, backwatered, white trash, forced love interest. Just an instant, hee here we go, we're a couple now, okay. The perfect dream. She teaches you how to throw women around and they like it. Amazing, perfect. She's... Then Eddie builds a car from whatever he finds around, because I guess that's how that works. And we're introduced to the driving part of this gimme game. You can go forwards and you can go fast. What more could you ask for? You do the one-track mission in this game, and then we have the one in-car boss battle in this game. This also resembles a SpongeBob movie game as well. I don't know why I'm comparing this to that, but we're doing that. But then the rest of the game ain't nothing like this, so I'm just gonna roll this off as some sort of like weird introduction tutorial thing. Now for the actual game to start. After that Kingdom Hearts-esque prolonged intro.
I can tell that you are here to help us, to lead us.
To wage war against the demons, to liberate humanity.
Who is writing this?
Well, welcome to a world of, Metaltopia, maybe? I don't know. They don't tell us what the name is. They just refer this place to the past. You know, the past with its demons and technologically advanced BDSM creatures roaming around. Sure, okay. Are you or somebody you know an ex-gas station manager? Perhaps a hot topic employee? Well, if you want to run away from your problems completely, I got the place just for you. Metaltopia. The land of big naturally formed hands made out of rocks. Resources of materials that bands make those unreadable logos out of. Never-ending waterfalls of blood, full of wildlife, of exploding porcupines. Ghost horse. Big bear things, giant guillotine things, panthers, and my personal favorite, big dopey ape dog cat things. Hobbies here include racing with funny frogman, making sure Quasimodo, voiced by Invader Zim, gets his bitch, helping Kyle Gass slam dunk some nukes, and rewriting American history with heroes that really matter. Give us a call at 555-555-555-555 and book your tickets now. God, playing this map, there's just so much range and variety that I've just thrown it all in this passion project, where it's just so much creativity is oozing out through the seams. The range from barren, cool, natural land, a 1980s dreamscape, Elsa's menopause, Shrek Swamp, and my personal favorite, Tim Burton's Wet Dream. The absolute love and design with this shows how much of a passion project this was. Of course, like most Burnout from the 80s, good old Timmy was heavily influenced by dad rock. And having this vision akin to Full Throttle, one of Tim's first games he ever made, and his direction with his ever so powerful, entirely creative team made with EA's never-ending sinkhole of money to fund this masterpiece. If only they were able to give this map the whole entire rundown and not restricted by the massive roadblock of EA's constraints. Okay, so story-wise, we got Girl telling Jack that they're tired of being oppressed by the white man that is really under control by the black man, or demon, I don't know what he is exactly. Jack's like, let's build an army. We pick up deformities with the power of rock. That's never not the cringiest thing to say. We learn here the clunkiness of crowd control.
Hey, did I say charge?
And using the combat system alongside. We tell the five-head guys we can abolish slavery.
You don't have to be slaves.
My name is Abraham Lincoln.
But some of the other slaves want to be enslaved for the pussy.
There's gonna be piles of chicks and booze and stuff.
Ophelia dies or something and we go see Lemmy, and he tells us that we have to kill a bunch of spiders to save her. We hog some broads with a couple of fat tits that shoot the inner workings of a pig or something. Then David Bowie's broken hair mechanics comes down and puts us in a fight. Then Cheech and/or Chong comes out of nowhere and builds us a stage.
Right on.
Here, we experience the RTS, real-time strategy for those non-gamers out there, element of this game. Originally, this was intended to be an RTS game by itself, but then they threw in open worldness, a trend at the time that was becoming very popular. And they, kinda combined them, put them together a little bit, somewhat. It's there, there's two genres, like milk and orange juice, just blended together. But yeah, Tim wanted to make a heavy metal Warcraft. The cool one, not the gay one with this yuck. But EA was like, that won't sell, so they pushed more to sell it as an open world game. So we have two very different games that look the same, that have the same voice actors and all that, but they play entirely different and don't feel like the same thing at all. Sometimes it works and you feel like a god, but most of the time it comes down to waiting, building up fans and then from these pus holes and then enslaving them, brainwashing them to be a little cum slut so you can turn them into other people, cars, vehicles, animals, fucking buildings, whatever the fuck. Not sure of the science behind it, but I won't question it. So you hold the people and you can just dominate and command while protecting them. You get the cliff notes on how to use it, kinda, but you kind of figure out how to use it on the way. Only two of these battles get weird and kooky, but that's because they change it up entirely and you're just sitting there pissing, shitting, and farting while you get raw dogged in all directions like a good old bimbo on Saturday night on black.com. There's also an online part of this game where you can go head to head in this mode. As you can expect, it's a very old game, so only die-hard fans or absolutely no one's online to play. But you get to play as the bad guys in the places you've never seen before. Anywho, we kill David Bowie a couple of times, you grow temporary cool demon powers that make you fly, and that's about it. And it has like a weird shoe-in plot point. And then there's like these skull things that shoot at you like a turret of some sort. And then we gotta get some really hard-working, underpaid minorities that go unrecognized and stay hidden at the giant speaker wall or whatever. Then they go invisible and go past these skull things. We go to the cool place where we murder Whitesnake in a cool sort of Rock of Love situation. And then after that, this guy gets killed. Then the real bad guy comes out of nowhere. And then this guy gets killed.
Seems I had less to worry about than I thought.
Lord Diviculus, voiced by the one and only Tim Curry. There's a bunch of celebs jam-packed in here alongside Jack Black, such as David Cross, Richard Horvitz, Ozzy Osbourne, Lemmy, Lita Ford, Brian Posehn, Kyle Gass, and most importantly, Lex Lang. Not to mention the soundtrack that came out with this. It's a good thing this came out before Let's Plays and streaming were popular, because hot damn, the complaints you'd hear about this would be constant. Don't worry kids, I'm not monetized and I go through huge lengths not to make any monetary gain being a freak online. Patreon.com/ColeoIsCooleo. Good lord, the amount of songs in this. All going alongside of what's happening on the screen, of course. Speaking of, if you don't hear the music, it's because YouTube hates minorities. Big giant Mike Wazowski's come from the sky, and you have a 10-second rush cast segment, and then go and have some melodramatic crap about Ophelia is evil.
Lita, don't make me do this.
Oh, look at me, I'm shaking in my little space boots.
The big balloon tits bitch cries, and then the gang gets frozen. Then a gang of random frozen emo kids come out of nowhere, and we get surprised attacked on. Here we have the same mobs, just reskinned as entirely different models, but goddamn these fucking designs. Sweet god. Wives, bros, babies, hearses, grim reapers on horses, Vorse, stars, hair whippers and chair vaulters. I love it all entirely. At this point in the game, the maps open up enough so you can have some really really cool and funky unlockables. You get unlockables by finding a bunch of random shit around the map to unlock, or by completing missions, you know, to pad out the gameplay. From serpent things that are headed all over the map, new solos for more moves to use on the field, the hunter guy that tells you to kill a bunch of animals so you can use as pawn pieces in the fights, then some scenic looking eye shit, these things that give you a bunch of lame lore that's like, this place used to be evil, but then it was good, but now it's evil again, whoopsie. But the art's cool at least, so I'll give it that. The first half of this game is very slow paced, and you could feel like you're about to spend like, it's 48 hours into the storyline alone. But once you get past the David Bowie guy, they rush through the whole rest of the game in less than an hour. There's like 3 other plot points and you're done. Which is a shame, because this map is so gorgeous and you're missing a whole bunch of fucking decor, unless you choose to explore. But me playing this for the 19th billion gazillionth time, you know, I'm rewarded by every time I'm just looking through this map and exploring on my own. But the story's so jam-packed and eagering you to go on to the next chapter, you don't have a need or a want to explore. You kind of want to go from there to there to there, and then credits roll and you're done. But you are extremely rewarded by this world. For instance, there's this mini Ozzy Osbourne bat thing that anyone can actually miss because it's so out of the corner out of everything else, and it's such a cute little side mission. Ozzy Osbourne also appears in Hell, where we can buy things from him. The more you do things in the game, the more you can unlock things when you go to Hell and see Ozzy Osbourne. Make a deal with the devil. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen, step right up. Today we got the best deals in town here at the Ozzy Osbourne Hell Space Store. Car upgrades, weapon upgrades, car weapon upgrades, axe upgrades, guitar upgrades. Basically all your upgrading need. Perhaps some new digs. While you're at it, why not get some new moves? And if you're feeling extra saucy, grab yourself a giant-headed rock, perhaps one of Tim Schafer. You have Psychonauts Easter Egg 1, 2, and 3 here to purchase as well. So come on down to Hell and have yourself a grand old time.
Rock and roll!
You kind of want these upgrades at the later levels in this game anyway to make it actually doable, because if you don't, you're fucked. Okay, so once we go to the emo phase, we see Nina Cortex there in a very sexy DeviantArt sort of way, and I'm obliged to keep on playing. We go to the jungle where we have fun end games, run a couple of errands for Kiss with Tets, we adopt cool little kitties, and then we go to the dry ice mines where we find Ophelia properly.
Ophelia?
What happened to you?
Do you really want to know?
Kinda like Minecraft with the drowned people, yeah. Then she has a circ and cries home to daddy. She also unfairly has this really cool blimp thing for healing, and I just... where's mine? I don't have an equivalent to that. I have a car, that doesn't fly.
Through the woods a girl came sadly. Something broken in her chest.
She gives us this weird poem once we're going up to like her final battle with Ophelia. And, you know, she really wants to make sure you don't miss it, because if you leave and come back, she'll fucking keep on saying it like it's an important plot line. It means nothing. There's also something you would find on DeviantArt from depressed 14-year-olds that don't know what the fucking real world is, because it's...
Through the woods a girl came...
Okay, I heard you the first time, sweetie, thanks. Just a manipulative fucking woman being manipulative, trying to make you feel bad. Smash the bitch one more time, and then Frankenfurter wants to fuck me because I remind him of my mother of some weird shit.
Lee, epic final boss battle of epicness of awesomeness and proper broken RTS form commence.
At this point in the game, if you've explored enough and got a bunch of fucking upgrades, you've racked up a bunch of shit. Moves, solos, units to blast, power-ups, power-downs, ranging from small boys to big boys to enormous boys, from I'm just a giant fucking building moving around at this point boys. You can summon a Led Zeppelin to come nuke the place, you can summon the sun to burn people, you can summon a wave of animals for absolutely free if you've murdered enough. To finish this battle, we've got to go for these rather phallic looking heads here. It's a lot to juggle, keep up with me. Gotta slam them down, summon your car, make sure your fan service tower is being looked after, get in your car, drive up this ramp, drive up through this ramp with an unknown amount of time before the fucking heads get fully erected again, and then when that's done, a wave of super powerful guys will come out of absolutely nowhere and you'll be fucked. if you've left your guys astray to fend themselves for too long. Trust me, I streamed it. Shameless plug. They also have this creepy laugh ringing in your ears because they thought giving this guy the most bassiest voice, more bass, would be a great idea. Take another down by doing the exact same thing, and then you do the same thing all over again. And then once that guy's down, you get the cooler looking head falls down. You drive in the middle there, and there's a cool little final boss you gotta do.
Decapitation!
Have the female save you because we stan a girl boss. Fade to black, have none of the main characters appreciate you, then run off in the sunset with a manic pixie dream girl that has already shown various red flags. And there we have it. Brutal Legend. I've wanted to look in this game in a review aspect for quite some time because, a lot like my actual favorite, Crash to Insanity, it's a very unfinished masterpiece that has a lot of potential. It's an absolute treat to go through, but the tease of what could have been is dangling in front of you all the fucking time, and it's like, God, it can be so much better. And I think it's that little dream space that I have between reality and what didn't get made, that it's like, what we could have is really good. And I think what that is what I take from these games that I like so much. But it is a fantastic game by itself. Of course, as I've said throughout, EA kind of strangled this conglomerate of an idea of what it could have been. And unfortunately, Double Fine's not the only company to fall into that core operations being corporate while they get rim-jobbed scenario. A side note, does anyone remember American McGee's Alice Madness Return specifically? They also had to escape EA's deathly grip to make a sequel. And after some Lego mumbo-jumbo thrown around, they broke free, and thank God they did too, because it's looking pretty cool. And finally, all the e-girls out there can wonder why the Alice in Wonderland dress has a period stain in the bottom. And now for the part that doesn't mean anything. This is getting a fucking 8 out of 10. Brutal Legend, though, being able to get through in 6 hours if you know it well enough, the clunky RTS, the nothing to do-ness feel you have after you've gone through the plot points to do all the mini-games and 100% the game if you want that achievement, it holds something incredibly unique that hasn't been done before or after this. Something amazingly ambitious that no one's ever attempted to go towards. Having an open world game, entirely open world, that's just full to the brim with shit to do around every single corner. And Brutal Legend being one of the very first games of this mass of size of open worldness is something that hasn't been done much or well. And for the time, it's very impressive for what it is. Having a pretty big sense of having no mini-map or quick travel kind of gives you the sense of exploration, although there's no need for it, really. It has its flaws, sure, but the immersive world in this entirely creative world where there's just so much detail every fucking corner you go into. Of course, in proper Double Fine action, the writing being so pristine and full of plot twists and plot points around every fucking corner you weren't expecting, thanks to Tim Schafer's amazing writing skills. They keep teasing and unteasing a Brutal Legend 2, and I hope they do, because having something that's 10 years afterwards with an expanded world that has Double Fine's glistened finished product, knowing that Microsoft is just gonna fund whatever they make at that point, I just kinda hope they don't plateau after Psychonauts 2, but here's hoping. The sad thing about single player games on the 360 and PS3 genre around this time was that first-person shooters became very popular online, and then anything that had an actual depth and a storyline got thrown in the bargain bin for $10. So people forgot about Brutal Legend along that midst. So, if you like open world games, heavy metal, or compelling, actually good storytelling, I recommend it. It's pretty cheap on Steam, and you can probably find it cheaper on fucking eBay. If you still have a 360, why not? Pick it up, it's a good time. Just don't come yelling at me once you find out that you can't jump in an open world game. Okay, thanks for watching and all that crap. I'm streaming more on Twitch now, twitch.com/ColeoIsGameo. I have a Twitter, Coolio_is_Cooleo. One of these days, I'll stop trying to get myself suspended. But, just find me on here, you'll get there. I'll have a Colecast out this Friday. I'll have a Coleo's Cringeo out next Monday. I'll have Cole Show News out after the week after that, and that's the current schedule I have. Stick around, there's more brain ooze coming out. But until next time, peace out, Brussels sprout. Thank you, Ryan, Kendra, my other Patreons, for supporting my Patreon. Consider being a Patreon at patreon.com/ColeoIsCooleo for early releases of shit, mostly, and a shout out if you spend enough money. And there's also some shirts you can grab there. There's a coffee cup, maybe, if you want it.